Have you ever tried tempura prawns with rainbow sprinkles? Well, I hadn't either until I came to Taipei and tried them for the first time. I was blown away. So, to celebrate the release of my new cookbook, we're cooking up a dish that's as fun to make as it is to eat. Taiwanese party prawns. Unlike the tempura prawns you're probably used to, I'll be pairing this with sweet pineapple, creamy mayo, and yes, rainbow sprinkles. This dish caught my eye in a traditional Taiwanese street food restaurant, blurring the lines between savoury and sweet. So, shall we get started? Okay, so first step is to prep the prawns. I have some fresh raw prawn tails here. We're gonna butterfly the prawns, and what I mean by that is slicing them down the back, not all the way through, so just to open it up, almost replicating a butterfly. And if there's any veins in there, we're just gonna remove those. So in Taipei, it's actually really hard to pick my favorite street food because there's lots out there. I actually made a video on it, but I keep coming back to Taiwanese party prawns because it's one of the first dishes I tried and it's the most fun to make and eat. Okay, so the prawns are prepped. I'm gonna season them with a bit of salt and white pepper. I've also just turned on my wok there, which is filled with some oil. We're gonna fry these shortly. We'll just give that a toss. Oh, that pepper. All right, we're gonna set that aside for a sec whilst we whisk some egg whites, which is gonna give that a nice like foamy, crisp exterior on the prawns before we dip it into the potato starch. All right, I'm just catching that egg yolk with my fingers. It is very delicate. I'm making sure not to get any egg yolk in there. Cool. All right. Let's whisk that. So we're just looking for a nice kind of foamy and creamy consistency. We don't want to whisk it all the way to a stiff peak or a meringue. Awesome, nice and airy and fluffy. We're adding the prawns to the whisked egg whites. Tossing that through, making sure they're coated. Awesome. And we're ready to fry. So I have my potato starch here ready. I have my prawns ready to go. I also have a plate, which I've just placed some paper towels on top to drain the prawns when they come out. So it's really important here to set yourself up as you're frying. I know it can be quite a daunting task. Not a lot of people like to fry at home, but if you set yourself up, it's quite easy. So to check the temperature of the oil, I know in my book I say to bring it up to 180 degrees. And you might be wondering, how can we tell when it's 180? So here's a little trick. So basically, if you put your chopstick into the oil, and if it starts to sizzle, which it's doing right now, it means it's at the right temperature to start frying. For another way of testing out the oil, you can check out my gobi Manchurian recipe video where I use the batter method instead. So my oil is hot enough, my prawns are ready. I'm gonna dredge them into the potato starch, straight into that hot oil to fry, and then onto the paper towels to drain. So it's not gonna take too long. They might take about 2 minutes to 3 minutes. So when I'm frying, I always like to work in batches. One, it's easier to control. And secondly, we want to maintain that temperature so it crisps up really nicely. Yeah, nice. Oh, I got flour all over me. Is that okay? Oh well, it's a party. It is very fun to make, it's very messy, but it's worth it, it's delicious. Oh, they look great. So what I'm looking for is a light golden exterior, and what I'm actually gonna do to make them nice and crispy is remove them, let them cool down, and then give them a second fry to get them really crunchy on the outside. They look really good, if I do say so myself, but I do want them extra crispy, and you can hear it sizzling in there, which is exactly what we want. I'm just fishing out all of the extra starch whilst the prawns are cooling down slightly. Okay, so second fry, and the oil is at the right temperature. So to make them extra crispy, we're gonna put them in again for a second time. Extra sizzle for extra crunch. Ooh, that's hot. Oh yeah. Okay, they don't take long at all, so about a minute, and then you can see there, they're nice and golden and extra crunchy. And for extra flavor, what I like to do is add a little bit of extra salt. So for the sweets creamy mayo, we have some mayonnaise, cream, and a bit of lemon for acidity. And any variety will do. I know this doesn't look like a lemon, but trust me, it is one. Straight in. All right, we'll give that a mix. And lastly, to balance it out, a tiny bit of sugar. Okay, mayo is ready. We're pretty much ready to plate up. I'm just going to thinly slice some lettuce. I also have some pineapple here, or tin pineapple, which I'll cut into chunks, and then we're going to plate this dish up. Yeah, you could use any lettuce. I would recommend just something that's quite fresh and crunchy. So an iceberg, cos lettuce is also really great. So that goes straight onto my serving dish. I'm going to add a couple of chunks of pineapple. Cool. We're going to add on our tempura prawns. And then what I like to do is pipe the mayonnaise on. I actually don't have a piping bag with me, so I'm going to show you a little trick that I have here. So just using a bag of some sort, a plastic bag. We're going to fill a bag with the sweet mayo. And I'm just going to slice a very small chunk off in the corner. Cool. Test it out first and see that that works. Oh, perfect. All right, let's do it. Oh, how good does that look? And then to finish, yes, rainbow sprinkles. And there you go, my Taiwanese party prawns. I told you it was a fun one. So let's give it a try. I think that is pretty spot on. It's perfect, extra crunchy. The exterior is nice and crisp. We have that sweet creamy mayo and the sweet pineapple to pair it with, and the rainbow sprinkles just tops this dish off perfectly. You have to give this playful dish a try. It's a really special one to me. It's the one dish my partner and I always share before flying out of Taipei. And I love it so much that I had to include the recipe in my new street food cookbook that's out now. Check out the link in the description to grab your own copy. Next week, we'll be stopping over to the Philippines, so subscribe to check out what iconic street food we'll be making next. For another way of... It's just that time of day.